place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report, coming to you live from the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course on another beautiful morning. Boy, I'll tell you, Mother Nature, not only is she undefeated, she is able to read the calendar brilliantly because there is little to no humidity, a light breeze in the air. It certainly is a autumnal morning as we kick off the final unofficial end of summer Labor Day weekend. Joined by my friend and colleague Seth Merrow, who I have to pull away from his laptop. I gave you like 60 seconds. Apparently you needed 90.
I got an email from the promo department, so I wanted to get it right because...
I can't believe our director didn't say scooch in, but you're stuck now.
Oh, well.
You're way out there.
Bet on
all right,
mine.
What do you got?
Fan Appreciation Day at the clubhouse today. So if you're swing by, again, appreciation for all your support during the Saratoga season. First 100 folks will get a $2 quick pick on the Jockey Club Gold Cup today at just about 1:30. There'll be pizza, chicken tenders, some cookies available.
Are we eligible?
We'll make swing down, grab
shuttle back before my flight?
That's right. You're out. I'm up here, so we'd have to make a quick turnaround. But, yeah, that's a Fan Appreciation Day. Clubhouse race, folks. So take advantage of that today. 711 Central Avenue in Albany.
Well, lot to do, much not time to do it in, or whatever that saying is. But a couple quick things yesterday. So if you're familiar with Excel spreadsheet, when it recognizes you've already punched in this data, it fills it in. More Than Ready was shut out until yesterday and had 3 winners. I'd have lost a Pepsi bet that he's had about almost 80 winners as a stallion at Saratoga. I mean, now he's had a long, stellar career. If you remember, he was a juvenile in '99, won the Sanford, and went to the sidelines, but has been a very good stallion because he gets sprinters, he gets middle distance turf. Then we had the turf sprints, but he was 0 for the beat. So I'm punching it in, and I expect once I get to more, it'll fill in. Now I'm starting to doubt that I'm so confident he's sired a winner that I'm like, I must have made a mistake. And then when I did it the second, I hadn't. So he was 0 for the meet and comes home with 3 yesterday. One of the best affordable stallions for like 10, 15 years, trained by Todd Fletcher early in his Hall of Fame career. But, good day of racing. Weather was nice. Turf was listed as firm, and we had talked about it. I think it was fast for the first race.
Yeah,
I think they got it up to fast for the first race. The track looks beautiful. So 12 race card today, 2 races, Seth, which we are not familiar with up at Saratoga as grade 1s.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of a different scenario with the Flower Bowl and the Jockey Club Gold Cup. But again, you said it yesterday, and I said you were on this going back quite a while. Saratoga now becoming the launching pad to next stop Breeders' Cup. And so they kind of juggled around.
And the Flower Bowl has to get shortened up a 16th of a mile because we don't run a mile and a quarter on the turf here. So that was, I was saying to Brian yesterday, it was long before he got in the game, but going back to the early 80s, the Flower Bowl was really the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare turf, 15, 20 years before that race existed, down at Belmont Park, running a mile and a quarter, but it'll be a mile and 3/16 the top of the stretch. That's the 11th and 12th race today, so there's no walkout race. So
the Jockey Club is the head-out
12th race.
And we're going to have that kind of a schedule throughout the weekend, so a little bit of an early post time today at 12:35. Keep that in mind over the weekend as well, and it should be a fun weekend. Should be a fun close to the meet. Don't forget on Sunday, low rollers tomorrow. Get your last shot at that. I'm high on the low rollers, and I've touted it here. And I see if people on the front side will give me the thumbs up that they tried it, and it's a lot of fun.
Wonderful.
But that then can lead, if you try contests and you enjoy them, we have the tourney bets at CapitalOTB.com all year long, so you can jump in there as well. Low rollers, you sign up over near the Four-Star Dave area, the old carousel area. And again, tomorrow will be the last day. You give them $40, 10 goes into the prize pool. You get a card with $30 on it. and you make 5 $2 win place and show bets during the day. And if you made the most money, and down to it varies depending on how many entries they get, but it's down to about 7th place. That's usually. Nice. You get a little extra dough. You keep all the money that's on your card. So again, your last shot, my last shot too. So far this season, I've started probably 4 of them. I was probably 40th or something.
Oh, okay.
I
thought you said you had a good run the other, like, 2
because there were like 3 or 4 times where I started great. I just could not get the finish that would propel me into a money spot. So I'm going to take my last shot tomorrow too. If
I made the plus or minus 3, I looked this up because they're not running at Belmont till the 16th. How many racing days in the fall meet?
No, I don't know.
You had to guess. I'll give you plus or minus 3.
29. That may be too bad.
You would win. 27.
Okay.
27 days. I have decided internally it's now simply the Belmont Fall Meet. I have to drop that adjective because imagine that the day came, Seth, when we run 40 days at Saratoga and 27. 9 racing days in the month of September. So, Seth, you're going to Maine for like 12 days after closing day here?
I don't know. Maine's a possibility. My sister built a pool down in Arkansas. She invited me down there, so maybe I'll go sit by the
Tell her I'll be there about April 29th. I'll just invite myself as I'm hoping to get to Oaklawn now with their extended meet. But so I guess it's like September 16th is opening day at Belmont.
Yeah,
and what I was thinking about, and it was a long time ago, Holy Bull ran an allowance race as a juvenile when they used to wheel back and run on Wednesday. That now seems like forever. It's going to be, what, a 10-day break?
Yeah,
is this the first time it's been this long?
No, last year.
Well, I don't count last year. There's no trivia questions.
Well, he said last year was the first year, and it looks like that'll be the game plan.
Okay.
Now, give the horses a little bit of a break. And,
all right.
Which probably isn't a bad idea.
And I think that's also opening day at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think so. The two and Southern California.
Yeah, for folks who don't remember, because I was working for for folks who don't know, I used to have my own television production company in town, but this is going back long enough that I was working for another television production company, and we shot a story on it one year. It used to be like a one-day turnaround, up here and down there.
They ran Monday. In those days, I want to say maybe the Spinaway was the closing day feature, and they leave Monday, not only, leave about 6 o'clock, and at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. So what's that? 43 hours later,
but it's the same up here too.
Racing.
We shot the
Evans
turnaround
shipment
up here. People don't remember that it was that quick, but I think also people don't remember how much equipment goes from one spot to the other, and so it would be a mad dash that 43 hours to get everything ready for opening day.
So are you ready for the final Saturday of the meet, the 8th Saturday of the meet? State breds, 3-year-olds and up, maiden special weights, dashing 5.5 on the turf.
And I went 9, 2, 7, and 12. The 8 is also one that I could have used very easily in the mix as well. But I put Sheriff Bianco on top, Wesley Ward runner. It's a turf sprint. Wesley Ward with turf sprinters. This one adds blinkers. The first start up here at Saratoga showed a lot of speed. And, ran 4th, eventually got caught, but I thought it was a decent effort. Wasn't caught by much. Was caught by a couple others in this race, though. So I'm going to take the shot here, though. Wesley Ward, Jose Ortiz, and again, coming off of that race last time, maybe the speed is a little more potent today. War Smoke in the 2nd spot. Jeremiah Engelhardt horse finished in front of my top pick last time, but did have a come-from-the-cloud style. And maybe this horse will benefit from that and be a little more in the game earlier this time. I just think probably up against it with that kind of a style. But again, with that one under the belt, maybe a little more prominent early. And then Giramonte also finished in front of my top pick in that one's last race. Just seems in good form. A couple of starts up here, a couple of decent finishes. Should be a player again today. So I have it 9, 2, 7, and 12.
Did you see the owner of the 9?
The owner of the 9. Oh, Cutter Racing.
One of the powerhouses with that Trev, right?
Yeah.
One of the powerhouses worldwide in racing. And watching the network the other day, Her Majesty was leading the front pack, and Qatar just came up the inside and just ran Her Majesty's silks down in the lane. But I have the same horse on top. The effort on Saratoga debut was sharp, gets blinkers today, was the beaten favorite. I think might be the favorite again. For a second, I'm on the outside. One quick note, 13, 14, 15 are AEs. The 12 is the outside. Suit of Armor goes out for Brad Cox. Second was 9-2 on debut. Ran, I'm not going to say practice, but raced well enough to advance, get to attack on the outside. And from third, the other side of the starting gate, number 1, Brian's Mission. But 9-2-1 in Saturday's opener.
Yeah, our man Steve Bick has 13 shares Ando, but again, it's an MTO, and with the weather today, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to make it in. Second race at Saratoga this afternoon, $20,000 claimers, 9 furlongs is the trip.
Right, it's getting, they have to run 6 down in New York, so, they get this last chance to get that dash out of there. And one quick note, we had the track record the other day on the off the turf 5.5, and one thing I want to note, I think the track record it broke was also in off the turf, and the off the turf gives the older horses a chance to go 5.5 on dirt. In New York, I would say in my lifetime we've probably run, there was a brief period at Aqueduct about 10 years ago. I think they let olders run scheduled 5.5 on the dirt, but basically in my lifetime olders have just gone 6, but when they get these turfs they get a chance to go at 5.5, and they take down the track record that's usually just the purview of 2-year-old racing in New York. And I think Factus Cactus might have held the track record. It was the same type of situation where that was an off-the-turf race. But I just wanted to note that on that track record set the other day. 3-2-4. We have had plenty of 9-furlong dirt races at this meet. I think that's terrific. Matter of fact, Brian was commenting on Thursday. I think we had like an 11-horse field. And I had told him that my data says, and this would be almost unimaginable, that the 1 hole and the 11 hole in fields of 11 have each won 5 times. Oh. We think of such a disadvantage, but when there haven't been a lot, but there's probably been about 60 over the last 30 plus years. The 1 and the 11 were tied for number of winners, which I found, you just wouldn't believe it. You just wouldn't believe it. Oh, and I also pointed out, of the winners from the 11 hole, none were favorites. So it wasn't like, that's another thing you should bring. 3-2-4 for me. Grump's Little Tots for Rob Atris, who has a victory at Saratoga. The most recent effort was at 50. I think the waters might have been too tough. We're going to drop down to 20 in here. We have an inside post position. I don't think that's very material for Grump's Little Tots. For a second, number 2, Supreme Aura. George Weaver first off the claim. George does not claim very many horses. The Daily Racing Form, we were having this discussion yesterday. These numbers at the bottom are 5 years, right?
I think that's right.
5 or 3 we were discussing. I think it's 5. Only 13 claims, but 31%, and then Roaming Union for third. 3-2-4 in the second.
And I will say, I'll look stats up occasionally.
Yes?
Be a DRF formulator, and one of the first things I change is that time, because the de facto time frame that it comes up with is 5 years. I usually put in 2. I think 5 just seems like you're using far too big of a sample.
And things I think there's something to that. Yeah, I mean, the fresher the stats, the more accurate.
I have the same horses you have. I just have them in a little bit different order. 2, 3, 4, and 8. I put Supreme Aura on top. I'm not thrilled on the drop off the claim, but the horse was in good form when last seen. Grump's Little Tots also making it drop, not off a claim though, so this one is a little more palatable. And then in the third spot, Roaming Union is one moving up. So this one maybe gives you a little more confidence on the class move angle, but I thought the other 2 talent-wise might have a little bit of an edge. So second race, I have a 2, 3, 4, and 8.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that yesterday on Talking Horses, Andy Sherling really elaborated on the timing mechanisms, and you particularly for turf racing, you have to compare and contrast with trackers, and most times they're off, but the amount they're off, you look at the first fraction, it almost stays very consistent for the rest. If they're 0.4 of a second off with the opening one, it remains pretty consistent. But that breaking the rules the other day was just 2.5 seconds in a mile race. So you really, and it's free. You go on the NYRA.com, you look up trackers, it's there all the time. I kind of put the video teletimer that we get that's going to be up there, when you watch the replay 3 years later, and the Trackist one, particularly when there's anything more than a full second of disparity up there, and go with what you have. Onto the Seth race, some of my favorite races. 7/8 of a mile right out front here for us. 3-year-olds and up, open company, maiden special weights.
7, 6, 4, and 2. I put Pipeline on top. I just couldn't get past the good race last time behind the next out winner. It's Chad Brown with a runner that really seemed to appreciate the stretch out to the 2 turns last time. I'll be interested to see. This is another one where the betting public goes, because the morning line is 8-5 versus 2-1, with Pipeline being the close-up second choice. But boy, I just think off of that last race, the betting public is so keyed into the buyers. And this one finished in front of Cody's Wish last time. And I went back and forth, admittedly. Now, Cody's Wish is a sibling to the talented Endorsed. That one won the career debut in 2 of the first 3. So there's some win early there. Hasn't quite lived up to it yet, but has run well. But I'm going to tilt towards Pipeline over Cody's Wish. Ubiquitous in the 3rd spot off a decent little try last time. From a January to August layoff, should be primed to run well. I thought the Fletcher runner Waxman at 8-1 could be a little bit interesting. There was a sibling called Mormino that won in its 2nd career start. So if you're looking for a little alternative to the shorter prices, Waxman may be the intriguing one. But I have it 7, 6, 4, and 2.
There's so much to love about this game. But Waxman as a firster, all races are completely different. Not only they're not the same, they're completely different. This is not the spot I would want to be the fresh face against the veterans. I'm scratching out of here. These are not the ones I want to take on, who might not only have displayed very good ability, they have the experience on me. I'll take my chances with others for my debut.
About first time out of the box at a mile and an eighth, you're probably going to have to fire a buyer of 90, probably, minimum, to get it done in here.
Seth, they're going 7/8.
What did I say?
A mile and 8.
Oh, I said,
some of these veterans are coming out of mile and 8 races.
Yeah, regardless of the distance. You're going to have to fire
This
a 90
is not a race that I want to be the firster coming in taking on these bears. This is not a good spot for Waxman, who might be good. But like I said, not only are you taking on horse. I mean, sometimes you're giving up a lot, and we'll use buyers as like they've run like a 64 or a 68. You're still giving up experience, which is invaluable, but now you're running against horses in the 80s and 90s, and they have the experience. And I don't know, I have to look this up now. Number 1, North Carolina. I still call it Joe Allen, but Allen Stables Inc., the famous green and white blocks. How many horses has Barkley tagged? It comes out of Shug's Barn over to Barkley tagged, but I have to look that up to see how many times that has occurred. But and
I will say that horse has been reported to be working very well. So
okay,
but he's got to step it up also.
Yeah, you think this group too? I'll pass. First time gelding off the long layoff, so a believable stat. But on Pipeline in here, shortens up out of a 9 for a long effort. Obviously, the 13-1 is long gone. I guess where we different is I took Sticky Issue as a flyer in here, but 7-3-4 in the 3rd.
4th race this afternoon, allowance non-winners are 1 other than. They go 5.5 on the grass.
I was just thinking, when you have a good horse in the barn and you're the firster and you're looking at some of the veterans and you're licking your chops, not the case in the 3rd. I wouldn't be no matter how good I thought I was, I wouldn't be licking my chops. I am 9, 7, 8 here, and as I said, they've kept the rails down. I'm going to run it out. It appears like on the main, basically. So that's going to be the last 2 weeks of the meet. We're going to run on the hedge on the main, and it looks like the 27 feet for the inner is going to make it. And you can truly see how tight it is when we run these mile races. Matter of fact, is he called the Outrider Pony? He has to stand sidewards. Oh. He has to stand parallel to the ledge, to the hedge, or else he'd take up too much room if he was perpendicular when it's 27. I'm on the outside here, 9, 7, 8. Quick note, the 5 is main track only, so we'll move it a little bit. But Meet the Beauty is my top pick for Todd Fletcher. Coming, took on winners for the first time at this level at Monmouth, going 5.5. Was inside. I thought a very good effort. Luis Saez gets to mount on the outside, 8-1. I find to be attractive on Meet the Beauty, who should be able to really, I think, get good position on the turn. Remember, it's hard to win from well off the pace in these turf races. I think we're going to be really close to the pace. I think in cycling they call it in the peloton. the second group. The leaders go out. Then there's the big group. I think we're going to be at the head of that. Risky Mischief, 8-5 on the board for Jeremiah Engelhardt. Makes the second start of the year. Just got beat as the chalk earlier in this meet. And for third, number 8 for George Weaver. So 9, 7, 8. You're sort of in the ballpark.
Yeah, I have 7, 8, 3, and 9. I thought the 4 was a little bit interesting as well if you wanted to play around. Right. Carl Broberg off the claim. But that put Jeremiah's horse on top off the seasonal debut. If the horse can kind of build on that, gain a little fitness there and move forward, becomes tough. Miss Domina for George Weaver off the nice maiden breaker last time. I think you have to take a look. Albeit, that was an off-the-turfer. But I thought the turf races before that were kind of promising this horse to move in that direction. And then Screaming By, the number 3 horse, with the early speed shown last time, is a little bit intriguing in here as well. So for me in the 4th, 7, 8, 3, and 9.
All right, take a quick break. When we come back, more live for the backstretch of Saratoga.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, up to the 5th race on the program. It was a grade 1 for about a decade, right? The prior is?
Yeah. Because I was actually surprised when I looked and saw grade. I was thinking grade 1 in my mind.
Okay, it's been about 10 years since it got downgraded, but 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs, run at Belmont Park for many years. I think Richie had a horse, Richard McLeroy had a horse that paid about $90 to win this when I was a young man with brown hairs, but 6.
Speaking of which, since you tossed out his name, the Megan tomorrow is our guest handicapper on the Handicappers Report.
See, I thought I knew that, so I teed it up. See if we can get that Prioress for him. That'll get him on the engine. I think she paid like $90 to win the Prioress a couple of years ago. The one thing about Richard McLeroy and I, we're the same age. So I, kind of always know he was about 24 years old. But 3-year-old fillies going 6.
6, 5, 1, and 2. I put Super Sensational on top. The Mark Cassie trainee off the second. I think Bella Sophia might turn out to be a kind of a monster. We'll see. But that was a pretty nice performance. I had Libby Imperio on the day before, as they were leaving the set, she and Michael Dubb, she was saying, I got a nice one in tomorrow, and sure enough, that was a pretty good performance in the test. So I don't think the second place finish was anything to be embarrassed about. As I say, I think Bella Sophia is going to be a nice one, and so the second place finish, I think, is kind of flattering for Super Sensational. They cut back the furlong today. I'll tilt in that direction. Amendment 19, lightly raced, but certainly showing some flashes of talent. And you have to find it interesting, a private purchase to Juddmonte, it looks like here. Moves into the Brad Cox barn. I just thought the scenario was intriguing as well. Jose Ortiz jumps back on board. And then Oksana in the 3rd slot. The 2 races at Parks were just super impressive, but there were 2 races at Parks. What was this one facing? We'll get a better idea on Oksana today, but did it in the right fashion, regardless of what the fields were like down at Park. So I think you have to at least take a serious look in that direction. Have it 6-5, 1 and 2.
With Oksana, the maiden special weight victory and the A other than, there's only one other horse that I can think of that had that type of, and that was Summer Colony. When Summer Colony broke her maiden in off the turf race here, she won by like 21. Then when she took on winners the next race, she won by double digits again. I very rarely have ever seen that. And I'll tell you one thing, you said a sentence you don't hear very often. A private purchase by Juddmonte.
No, that's what I thought was very
intriguing. But what I would project is brewing here, this is simply for their broodmare band.
Yeah.
I mean, they people forget, Arrogate was one of their few purchases ever in life. That's not what Juddmonte has done through the years, so you can see they want this mare. But you left Deuce off, and I know it's only the fourth career start, but Edie Meaty Mighty Mo adds blinkers today in the fourth career start. That was in the Monmouth Oaks, a 2-turn race, now gets back to sprinting. And we talked about it yesterday with the workout, boy. What a sharp workout a couple days ago for this engagement. I agree with you the rest of it, but the shipper here, I know they ran in New Jersey most recently, but this is a Maryland shipper. And you saw Yaupon come back out of the Pimlico race, but I'm 2-6-1 in the prior race.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue at all with it. I didn't know what to do with Edie Meaty Mighty Mo.
Well, it's a couple. Like I said, you got the one coming in for Parks. How will they shape up here? You got
the workout does jump off
coming
the
out
page,
of the Monmouth Oaks, how you shorten up.
6th at Saratoga this afternoon. Maiden Specials going 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
11, 12, 13 main track onlys here. 6, 10, 2 Annapolis for Todd Fletcher, a homebred offspring of the brilliant Warfront, who I think, Seth, I got to look up, might have started for 10,000, maybe 20, and then just climbed and climbed and climbed at $150, ladies and gentlemen. But Warfront, what a tremendous stallion he has turned out to be. Todd Fletcher has this runner. And when I think of Warfronts on the turf, middle distance is about the ceiling for me. I think of his better runners and the larger grouping. So Annapolis debuts today with Irad Ortiz in the saddle, my top pick. For second, on the outside of the starting gate for a turf race, number 10, Beloved Warrior and offspring of Flincher, goes out for Danny Gargan. And for third, maybe making the second career start, because cross-entered at Kentucky Downs is number 2. I'll figure it out. But 6, 10, 2, you see the exacta similarly.
Yeah, same exacta. 6, 10, 9, and 8 for me. I thought the 3 was a little bit of a player as well. The 3, Callaway Peak for Bill Mott, has a sibling called Publication, third in debut, and then won the next 2 starts. So there's a little bit of breeding on that 3. But I went with Annapolis. This one has a sibling called the Vician Sunrise, second, and a win in the first 3 starts of the career. So a little bit of win early there underneath. And as you mentioned, Warfront, Todd Fletcher, nice steady string of workouts. I'll go in that direction. 10, Beloved Warrior, has a sibling called Artemis Bridge, second, and first in the 3 career starts, first career starts. There's a little bit of breeding there, obviously, and Danny Gargan can have them ready. Not a specialty, certainly, but can have them ready. And in the third slot, I'll go with 02, 03, 5. Off a couple of starts so far, experience counts, and I thought the first 2 starts were okay. And so if you're looking for one with a little bit of experience.
What's the name of the horse?
02, 03, 5. Right?
No, I was trying to think as you said it.
02,
Coming
03,
up
5.
All right, I got to think about that one. All right. We agree.
6, 10, 9, and 8 for me.
All right, 7th race. We've waited a long time in the meet. This is probably the second one that I've really very intrigued what the future holds for the vast majority of these runners. 2-year-olds, open company, maiden special weights, scheduled. And I say that because when the juveniles get shortened up from the turf races, they go 7/8. But I love when they are scheduled 7 furlongs right out front here. And I can't wait to see the numbers roll for you, because I think there's probably 5 horses people would be attracted to as firsters.
Everybody is going to want to see what happens with number 8. But we landed on both that landed on Misbehaved. I went 4, 3, 8, and 6.
Did I miss a story with number 8?
It's the full sibling to Songbird. So everybody's waiting on a horse like that.
Wrong day.
Two-time champion, and I put it down in the mix because a full sibling to Songbird. And again, for folks who don't remember, two-time champion, won first 11 starts. 7 of those were grade 1s. Goes out for
Once
Belmont.
again, her first defeat, was the greatest performance of her life. That's how
she
only lost twice in her life.
Yeah.
Beholder in the Breeders' Cup and the finale up here.
Second in both of those.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, she was better at 2 and 3. She was one of the best 2-year-old fillies I've seen.
Yeah,
and she maintained it at 3.
Ones as a 2-year-old, but Galt, owned by OXO, and it's a full sibling to Songbird. At that point, the $400,000 seems a little light, particularly for Larry Best and OXO. So
particularly for a medallion d'oro out of a Vita line. What did a medallion d'oro stand for? $150.
So, but
that's not good.
Yeah, Larry Best likes to spend. So I was a little bit taken. I'm going to be interested to see what the horse does, though. Have it in the mix. Certainly couldn't leave it out. But Misbehaved on top. There's a sibling called Democracy that won its career debut. Into Mystic, another sibling,
one
of the second career start, and worked 10.0 before attracting a big chunk of change at OBS 8.
Did you give Trafalgar a look? I mean, I think he's live. I mean, you know what Joe Frazier said to Ali during the first fight? You're in the wrong church tonight. And if I'm Galt, you might be in the wrong church tonight.
So Misbehaved is live. The second-time starter for Rasmussen, I thought, could be
As
live.
Musson. We're going to get you
As
home.
Musson. Gunrunner on top, and he has unleashed a bunch of these Gunrunner babies that have done well. And I don't think the second-place finish, I think people will look at the buyer and maybe be a little skeptical. I won't be surprised to see. Yeah, I won't be surprised to see some nice improvement. The horse I think is interesting is Jerkovic. By Violence, has a start under the belt, and that may give this one a little bit to build on. But I love Violence as a sire of win early types, and at 20-1, I'll play around a little bit with that horse in this race. I have it 4, 3, 8,
How about
6.
Saratoga's Tis Eternal for the future? If it isn't today, it's like, are you kidding me? I have Trafalgar, the one you don't have in the mix, an offspring of Lord Nelson for Al Stoll, who gets John Velasquez to ride in here. But I landed the same one for you, which is, the offspring of Into Mischief. Cost nearly $900,000. We saw. This is, when these owners and trainers got the PPs for the overnights, they were like, well, we all had to show up at the dance together, but I think this is a terrific race. The type
Saturday
of race
at Saratoga.
They come up to Saratoga. I've talked about this. I should, between now and next year, maybe I'll get a roster list of the Saturday Maiden Special Weight Juvenile winners. I think I got to update it, but in my head I remember Silver Wagon was one of the more. I think the Silver Wagon or Silver Train might have been one of the more accomplished Saturdays. But I'm going to make up that list.
Honor Code maybe one of those? Honor Code?
Was he a Saturday?
Maybe.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to start to look up those Saturday Maiden winners.
The 8th race today, stakes action, Saranac, the grade 3 for the subdivision. I like quite a bit. 3-year-olds on the grass, mile and 16.
If I made it plus or minus 20, doesn't say it anymore in the form, how many runnings you think?
How many runnings of the Saranac? 75.
You lose. Probably 110th.
Oh.
This is one of the longest running under the radar races in New York. Manila got beat in this race. This used to be a mile at Belmont that started your 3-year-old series they had at Belmont. The Hill Prince and the Lexington followed before they came up to Saratoga. Been at Saratoga, been different distances. I like the race today. The 7 is an MTO. 145. Oh my goodness, that's terrible television. You like public sector, never surprised, and you put it that way with Founder. Chad Brown's second half of the meet, but Kingman, good stallion, exits to victory in the coupling of this, which is the Hall of Fame. At a mile, I think follows it up with another victory on the inner turf with Irad Ortiz in the saddle today. Never surprised, making the 4th career start for Todd Fletcher, second one. I think he's going to be Hector. I think this is a very good race. And then I had Founder, which you also had for Chad Brown, coming out of the Tail of the Cat. Not our Tail of the Cat, but Monmouth Park's Tail of the Cat.
I'm right in the same boat, so I don't have much to add. 1, 4, 5, and 2, kind of master the obvious with the Chad Brown horse coming out of the good performance in the Hall of Fame. I just couldn't get past that one. Never surprised. Tried Stakes Company in the past couple of starts. A win to end the 2-year-old season. A second place to start the 3-year-old season. But hasn't been seen since that Kitten's Joy back in January down at Gulfstream. I think this horse, however, has some talent, and maybe the layoff adds a little maturity and talent on the comeback, and founder playable as well as kind of the other Chad Brown.
Look at Never
1, 4, 5, and
Surprised.
2.
How many 2-year-old turf 90s you think there are annually
Oh well,
in
that's
the
a
year?
good point.
I don't think that
far
it's
towards the
reached
end of the
too-
year,
yeah,
but it was still.
I don't think that's reached too often that a 2-year-old on turf
And
gets
is
a
that
90.
is that the best buyer on the page?
I think so,
it is.
because it's better
Yeah,
than
yeah.
than the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so as
runner.
a 2-year-old, shot the best buyer on the page.
I think that's rare also. I don't have time to look up that one, but I don't think there are very many 2-year-old 90s on the turf. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more live on Jockey Club Gold Cup Day.
Welcome to the West. I'm Scott Varley at Saratoga's latest and greatest high-rise luxury condo. Starting in the mid-5s, every condo here has 2 bedrooms and 2 baths and upgrades just like this. Check out these oversized private balconies. We also have a gym, a private lounge, and get this, a heated parking garage. To make a reservation for your private condo at the West, call or text me. I'm Scott Varley at 518-281-6808.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
On to the 9th race, ladies and gentlemen. State Breds, 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares, entry-level allowance, 1 mile and a 16th on the melon.
6'10", 1/8, and 5. Just okay is not okay for Todd Fletcher. You have to draw a line through that last race, obviously, but the race just before was good enough to match up with this group. I don't think it's hard to point at a horse in here, feel like you've got a standout or you can have much confidence. But again, I went back to that race 2 back, the Maiden Breaker. I'm going to look at the last start as maybe, some trouble, but got a little experience at the level. We'll move forward off of that. Maybe get a little bit of a price on a Irod Ortiz Fletcher runner. Just okay, not okay on top. English Breeze in the 2nd spot. Hasn't been seen since early June. But if you're looking at the numbers, I think the Dave Donk trainee has numbers that match up really well with this bunch. Again, in a fairly competitive group that I think they're all firing similar numbers. 1A Kara's Dream in the 3rd spot. The nice race 2 back, the Saratoga debut this season was pretty good. Last time it was okay, but the come from behind effort to begin the meet was, I thought, the one to kind of key on and hope we get closer to today. In the 9th, I have it 6'10", 1A, and 5.
I'll just touch on my number 7, Freedom Machine. I certainly would prefer more the trip two races back than the most recent trip. And I get back on the Mellon, I get to the Mellon Turf Course. I stay at the same level. Last one, just a throw out for me, 7-10-3.
10th race on this Saturday afternoon, over $100,000 up for non-winners at one other than types going 6.5 furlongs.
12-3-9 for me. Staying out late. Boy, what used to be doesn't count anymore. Steve Asmussen sends out this runner for the first start since May 1st, a 2-turn race at Oaklawn Park. I'm way on the outside. Hopefully we get a little speed early to get over to save ground when we go into the turn for second. Ducali, the Juddmonte runner, makes the first start versus winners in the 3rd career start and will draw much attention, I believe. And for 3rd, number 9, Crowded Trade for Chad Brown, coming out of a 3rd place finish in the Amsterdam, 12-3-9.
I went 3-10-8 and 1. The number 3, I think it's Ducali, but I'm not.
Right.
I am not.
Well, the thing I was wondering is a very popular Italian red wine is Reserva de Cal. Is an upscale one, but some people call it Cali. So I didn't know if that was where they were coming from.
Yeah,
but I've called it Reserva de Cal most of my life.
I am not,
That's fine.
putting money on that exactly. But regardless of how you call it, I have the number 3 on top. I just couldn't get past the big 97
Put
Bayern.
money that's a steep big tie.
So, so I'm going to tilt in that direction. Hometown in the second spot. Luis Saez hops on board for Chad Brown. This horse is also firing some numbers that are comparable and match up nicely and maybe give another little edge to most in here. And Baby Yoda, that was a nice allowance win to, start the move into the new barn and the move to New York after a couple of good tries down in Maryland. And I think off of that one, you have to take maybe an extra look there as well. In the 10th, 3-10, 8-1.
On to the 11th, a mile and 3/8. Can't run a mile and a quarter. The Flower Bowl.
3, 4, 1, and 2. Warlike Goddess. Again, I couldn't get past. Boy, this was just a.
For the record, I picked her on this show in the Glens Falls. So people that say I don't pick. And I'm picking her again.
Yeah, yeah. How do you get by off of that?
She only ran a furlong in the Bewitched. She only ran a furlong and a half in the Glens Falls.
5 for 6. There's one blemish on the record, and the wins were all impressive, particularly the last 2, and the one up here, the Glens Falls, a little earlier in the meet, seems to be working well. Just seems obvious. This may be your free square on the card. My sister Nat, sibling to Sister Charlie. That one was the 2018 Turf Eclipse filly. Hasn't quite lived up to the talent of the older sibling, but this is a nice runner for Chad Brown and Peter Brandt. And I think off the last few starts, including the second last time in the Glens Falls, to Warlike Goddess, she deserves consideration. And then running third in the Diana Signaire for Brendan Walsh, I think is also a player. Hasn't won yet this season in 4 starts, but again, belongs with this bunch. I didn't know what to do with the European. Put it down in the 4th slot. But it is Peter Brandt with bringing the European trainer over off a group win last time in Italy in June. I prefer my European winners in either France or England as opposed to Italy. I think the racing is maybe a little bit better in those 2 countries, but this horse has raced in the other venues earlier and has done well. So again, I wasn't sure what to do with that one, but I went 3, 4, 1, and 2.
I mean, War Goddess. I mean, Warlike Goddess is. She's an accomplished, long-winded American distafer on the turf. As I said, if you watched it Bewitched, she only ran 1/8 of a mile to win the race. She ran a little bit farther up here, but I don't know how many North American-based jockeys have won 67% of their races at Saratoga have been stakes races, but that's what Julian Leparoux might be looking at. She's hectopaying here. I have Mr. Nat, and Lovely Lucky was the bomber that I took for 3rd in here. But Warlike Goddess, I mean, she's not like one of those ones that, I mean, this is what she does, and she's very good at it. And we in America have not produced very many 12 furlong, 11 furlong fillies or mares of really upper quality, but she is the real deal. I think she makes it 2 in a row at Saratoga.
And Ocala purchased a couple of years ago for $30,000. That was a steal.
Steal. Yep.
The 12th, one of the highlights of this year's Saratoga meet. New to Saratoga, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, a Grade 1 event, $1 million up for grabs, 1.25 miles, the trip.
All right, at least we're not exactly the same. I know I think Happy Saver became the first horse to ever win the Jockey Club Gold Cup in their 4th career start.
Oh.
I mean, that's just not the way it's done. Now he's going to try.
No, that was a freaky season last year.
Yeah, that's what I said. No allowed trivia questions that the answer is in 2020.
Coming out of the Federico Tessio.
Yeah. This is usually a prep for the Preakness. Was again, but didn't work. I just went for Max Player over Happy Saver. I think these are the 2 horses to look at, and I said, settle on Max Player, and then that's it. He won the Suburban, beat Happy Saver, who's only making his 2nd start of the year. I actually think Happy Saver ran better that day than I would have expected. I would have expected a regression. So that bodes well for him, and I think Happy Saver is the horse to beat as he tries to win his 2nd consecutive Jockey Club Gold. But I'm on Max Player. We draw inside this afternoon for Ricardo Santana, and for third for Warren. Longest price on the board they set, 50-1 in New York, but 2-4-6 for me.
4, 1, 2, and 5. I put Happy Saver on top, as you say. Not just not just that one in Max Player, but Forza d'Oro. I could have gone either direction, any direction.
I'm suspicious of that
these.
last number. That's all for me.
Well, except he paired a couple
Yeah,
up, so but
good luck.
Yeah, no, I'd have him underneath. I put Happy Saver on. I'm hoping this one is now primed in the third start of the season.
Max Player
has run very well up here before. Showed affinity for the 1.25 miles. That was a 1.
1.5.
Yeah, turn. So a little bit different, but has done well at the 2 turns up here. Even Forza d'Oro, it has the 2 triple digits paired up, but we'll see if those are believable. You have to have him in your mix. And Max Player, I went back and forth. I could have flipped these up in any direction, but off the Suburban, he's maybe just very good right now. We'll see. As a 4-year-old, maybe he's just coming into his own, certainly working well, but I have it 4, 1, 2, and 5.
It's a very nice race, but a grade 1 for $1 million at 1.25 miles on dirt in North America might be one of the lighter ones in 30, 40 years. It's a pretty, it's a run for $1 million at the Classic American Distance to one of the premier races in America. It feels light to me.
Yeah, I don't know whether we're showing up with any of the absolute top names in that division.
Yeah.
Max Player, I guess, at this point probably is in that conversation. But
we got Steve? All right. Wonderful. We're going to take a break. I'll get our good people at DePaula in here. And after that, Steve Bick with the DePaula Play of the Day.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. But here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two arch rivals hang ahead with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish to the top. Here's the winner.
The Capital Region has some of the most sophisticated horse racing fans in the country. That's why Capital OTB built the Clubhouse Racebook. Here you can wager year-round on the best horse racing from around the world. The Clubhouse also has monthly promotions including live bankrolls, handicapping contests, and so much more. Like sports? Watch your favorite teams on more than 30 screens in Legends Field Sports Grill. Food, sports, and the excitement of championship horse racing only at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. Family owned since 1980, DePaula means quality and convenience, along with concerned and certified technicians. So come join the family and thank DePaula for all your automotive needs. At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. Over $2 million in original factory parts means you receive the very best for any make or model. So come join the family and thank DePaula for all your automotive needs.
It's post time for today's DePaula Play of the Day.
Welcome back to Handicapper Support on Saturday morning, the last Saturday of the Saratoga meet, which means the last visit from our man Steve Bick with the play of the day, the DePaula play of the day. Steve, good morning.
Seth, Anthony, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
I say last visit like this. Tomorrow morning you'll be sitting in live, and we're looking forward to that, certainly. We welcome.
I'm looking forward to the box of ties. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to have to catch it on replay, but that's one of my favorite moments of the season when Steve...
We were talking a little ties.
Bestows upon you some sartorial splendor, which you're sporting today.
I do have a big tie. I'd say they're easy to follow because if it's not a solid color, it's not my tie. So yeah, have stepped up the look. All right, Steve, let's get into it. Race 9 today. Your wheelhouse, State Breds going long on the turf. What do you have for us today?
Well, and this was another incredibly productive summer. I'll have the stats probably Monday. I'll go through and add it up, but it's been averaging about 7 to 1 throughout the season. We had another one the other day, I guess Wednesday or Thursday, when Lake Lucerne won at 6.5 to 1. So another $15 winner on this area. It's just uncanny. And it was irresistible for me to not look at the 9th today, the mile and the 16th. These are fillies and mares, first level allowance. And, Kara's Dreamer is so much the filly to beat in here for Mitch Friedman, who's trying to break through and get off the duck. And Kara's Dreamer probably wins. But for our purposes, the play of the day is a horse at a good price in this condition that fits, and it's Golden Oldie.
My man Mike Deaney.
My
man Mike Deaney.
Mike Deaney, yeah, absolutely. Comes in with a horse that has basically been doing nothing but facing open company, and shockingly faces New York breds for the first time. Really? It seems kind of versatile. Won on the lead when last seen at Monmouth, but has also been able to sit a trip. Gets Joel Rosario, is 10 to 1. I don't see how we resist Golden Oldie as the DePaula play of the day in a New York bred, long on the turf opportunity. We had a very big first half with this concept. I really have enjoyed it. Kind of struggled here the second half with some off the turf and a couple of silly stabs. But let's finish strong. The 5, Golden Oldie, 10 to 1 today, and your DePaula play of the day will send you home with a full pocket.
I like it. My man Deaney, I follow him all season long down at Tampa, and this one had a nice 8 to 1 win down there. And yeah, you've had a great season with the DePaula play of the day, so congratulations on that. You passed the positive ROI situation there like 2.5 weeks ago. So again, it was fun to have you in for the play of the day, and a great job. And Steve, good luck. We're going to see you over here this afternoon.
Somebody might need to send me, ways, Google directions. I barely have been to the track. That's not true. I'm kidding. I've been here multiple times this week since getting back from the West Coast. The NHC. If you missed the NHC conversation with Justin Mustari, the 26-year-old winner, Wednesday on the show, spent an hour with him. I really recommend people listen. I think they'll really enjoy it. Probably talk a little bit with it, Seth, tomorrow on Loose on the Lead. Terrific card today. 3 cards left. Make the most of it. Weather's terrific. A little too terrific. We would have liked to have gotten Scherzando in, main track only in the first, but we'll have to wait for downstate. But good luck, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on Loose on the Lead.
Appreciate it. We'll see you then. All right.
I can only assume the box is ready. That's all I can assume. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the summer here for me. I said earlier that I had dinner in Saratoga while the racing was going on. I'd never experienced that before. And now for the first time in my life, I'm going to another racetrack while Saratoga is racing, and I have never done that before.
I'm envious. You're going to make a trip out to Arlington.
Yeah, about 2 hours. We're going to fly out to Chicago.
And wrapping things up.
They have an 8-race card on Sunday. It's going to kick off about 2:35 local time, so I'll have the morning to ourselves. And going to see Arlington because it appears as if there won't be very many opportunities to do that. So taking the family going out to Chicago in a little while, and But in this day and age, Seth, it's easy to follow racing when you're in the middle of the country.
I have a sneaking feeling you'll be able to look up at a TV and check out all the action. As I say, I'm envious. So wish you and the family a fun trip.
Thank you. It's been a great summer. Thank John Signor, everybody at Capital OTB, the guys behind the scene who do 5 times as much work as I have to do in front of the camera. Weather was a little dicey as it was all summer, but it's finishing on a grand note. We saw many champions here. And obviously, we're working our way back to normal, so hopefully 2022 will be far closer to 2019. And it's been great, it's been a lot of fun once again, so get some rest before September 16th.
Absolutely.
Peace days I go, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great Jockey Club Gold Cup day.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Hanel's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.